Today we're looking at forgiveness or justice, which heals the world. It's a really compelling piece exploring that tension between personal absolution and systemic accountability.
Absolutely compelling. And to make it even stronger, let's jump right in. The first area, I think, is the conclusion.
Right. So to really elevate this from a great debate to something, truly profound, we think evolving the conclusion could be key, moving it beyond that stark either-or question.
Towards maybe a framework, something that explores the interplay, the conditions. When does forgiveness work? When is justice paramount?
Exactly. Because the current ending, so tell me, does forgiveness heal the world or does justice? It's dramatic, sure, very effective.
But it does leave you hanging a bit, doesn't it? You've gone through this whole complex argument and then just a question. It feels like it's stopped short of offering a real pathway forward.
Yeah, that so what factor feels a little limited. You're left wanting a bit more synthesis, maybe a deeper perspective after all that exploration.
Precisely. That dichotomy, powerful as it is, might feel intellectually less satisfying than the journey promised. We've had nuance, so the end could perhaps offer a richer take.
So our suggestion is really about reframing that final moment, moving beyond just these two opposing forces.
And instead?
Offering maybe a more nuanced exploration of how they relate.
Yes, suggesting contexts where one might take precedence or perhaps where they absolutely have to coexist for any real healing to happen.
So digging into the conditions like when does forgiveness become transformative versus just letting things slide?
Or when justice is actually the bedrock you need before reconciliation is even possible. It's moving from just posing the question to offering, a lens for thinking about it.
Okay, so concretely, instead of which heals more, maybe something like,
Well, you could posit something like, perhaps true healing, personal and global, isn't about choosing. It's about understanding their intricate dance.
where justice often lays the groundwork for forgiveness to be meaningful.
And forgiveness, maybe, can stop that endless cycle of just punishment. It gives the listener more to chew on, encourages that continued thought.
Right, it's more of a resolution, even if it's a complex one. Or what if the voices themselves acknowledge this?
Yeah, in their final lines, they could say, look, both are vital, but maybe for different kinds of healing.
Or at different stages, even. Like forgiveness offers the individual release,
While justice secures that societal promise of safety, of accountability.
it clarifies their distinct roles, doesn't it? Both crucial, but maybe doing different jobs.
I like that.
Or you could even draw a clearer line between personal healing and societal healing.
That's interesting. How so?
Well, maybe frame forgiveness as primarily serving the individual's path, while justice is essential for the collective structure, the societal fabric.
And then you could touch on the overlap, where they actually need each other.
Exactly. That kind of conclusion doesn't just leave a question hanging, it offers a way to understand the problem itself. That feels much more valuable, providing a stronger so what.
It gives the piece a lasting resonance, I think. Okay, let's pivot. Second point, the interaction between the voices.
Ah, yes, the dynamic engagement, making that intellectual clash even sharper, more immediate.
Yeah. So the idea here is to maybe integrate more direct, specific counter-arguments or questions between the voices, especially earlier on, moving beyond what sometimes feels like parallel arguments in Acts 1 and 2.
Okay, because Act 3, the clash, that's definitely vibrant. It works. You get the fireworks.
Absolutely. But before that, in Act 1 and Act 2, while the cases for forgiveness and justice are laid out really well,
They sometimes feel a bit separate, like strong monologues running side by side.
that's a good way to put it. And the listener might benefit, I think, from hearing them engage more directly earlier, challenging specific points, preempting arguments.
Rather than just stating their own case in isolation. It would make it feel less like two distinct lectures, perhaps.
And more like a live intellectual sparring match right from the get-go. It pulls you in faster, makes the tension build throughout.
Got it. So while Act 3 delivers that punch, we want those sparks earlier. The suggestion then?
It's about using more explicit rhetorical devices. Have each voice directly reference or question or build upon something the other voice just said.
Creating that feeling of a responsive, evolving conversation from the start. heightens the tension, the vigor, makes it feel less prescripted and more immediate, more alive.
Exactly. Let's think of some concrete ways this could work.
Okay, like after Voice 1 mentions the South Korean president's pardon for unity.
Voice 2 could immediately jump in, not wait. Just say something like, unity, but at what cost?
Is unity built on injustice truly stable, or is it just putting off the reckoning, and then move to Srebrenica?
Yes, that creates an instant counterpoint. Forces the listener to weigh both sides immediately, adds complexity right there.
That really does elevate the sparring. Or thinking about Act 2, when Voice 2 says forcefully, forgiveness without justice is permission.
Instead of just letting that sit, Voice 1 could immediately challenge it. Okay, but is justice without forgiveness just an endless chain of retribution? Does it ever break the cycle?
Wow, yeah. That immediate back and forth deepens it right in the moment, instead of waiting for a later act. A direct, almost visceral challenge.
And even agreement can be used strategically, like when Voice 2 talks about the cruelty of forcing forgiveness on survivors.
Voice 1 could acknowledge that, show they're listening, but then pivot slightly.
Right. Say something like, indeed, that harm is profound, but the forgiveness I speak of isn't an obligation to the abuser.
It's a personal liberation for the victim, and it never replaces accountability. That shows direct engagement and refinement of their own point in response, real-time evolution of thought.
You could even have them pick up on smaller details. If Voice 1 is talking about the healing power of forgiveness,
Voice 2 could ask, but healing for whom? Is it healing the perpetrator's conscience or the victim's peace?
ooh, that forces a sharper look at who benefits, the potential downsides. These exchanges don't just state facts. They pull the listener into the critical thinking.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's the second point. What's the third?
The third critique is about deepening the resonance by bridging the personal and global narratives more explicitly.
Right. Connecting Act 4, the personal turn, with Act 5, the global echoes.
Exactly. While both acts are compelling on their own, those shifts in scale are powerful, strengthening the explicit link between the individual stories and the broader societal implications could really unify the piece.
I see what you mean. For me, the transition felt a little distinct. You have these intimate stories of, say, marital betrayal, and then suddenly we're talking civil wars, truth commissions. The connection is there implicitly, but
maybe not always clearly drawn out?
yeah. And the listener could benefit from a more direct thematic bridge. Something that shows how those personal choices, those experiences of justice or forgiveness, how they inform or mirror or maybe even diverge from what happens on a national or international stage. Without that explicit bridge, the whole argument, powerful as it is, might feel a bit less cohesive across those two crucial acts. It might miss an opportunity for a really profound, overarching insight.
So the weakness is that the connection is often implied, leaving the listener to do some of that interpretive heavy lifting.
Right. And the suggestion?
Is to weave a clearer narrative thread. Show how those intimate struggles in Act 4 directly reflect or influence or contrast with the big challenges in Act 5. Exploring how individual decisions, drawing a line, offering grace, how those things collectively shape a nation's path. Maybe?
Or how global injustices can actually echo in very personal betrayals. It's about making that link really explicit and resonant, not just implied.
Okay, so how would that sound? An example. Well, right after the personal stories, the infidelity, the betrayal, one voice could just state it plainly. Something like, these individual battles, these decisions to forgive or draw a line, aren't they the very same human choices, just written large on the canvas of nations?
Ah, that's a direct bridge. Sets up the next act perfectly. Frames the global examples through that personal lens. Creates an immediate aha moment.
Exactly. It makes the next segment immediately relatable.
Or, when moving to examples like Colombia or Chile, a voice could pose questions that explicitly link the acts.
Like what?
Something like, so, if forgiveness can save a marriage, can it truly save a nation from its divisions?
And if drawing a line is an act of personal justice, what does it mean when a whole nation finally says, enough, through something like a truth commission?
Those kinds of questions force the listener to make that thematic leap, but guided by the narrative. It prompts that deeper, active engagement.
That's really good. You could even explore whether the definition of forgiveness or justice fundamentally changes when you scale it up.
From a personal relationship to, say, a national peace process.
Yeah. Does forgiveness mean the same thing in a family as it does after a civil war? Exploring that question explicitly would be incredibly rich.
It really grounds the abstract in the relatable, doesn't it? Connects those intimate struggles we all understand to the grand narratives of history.
And doing that makes the whole argument feel much more impactful, more memorable. It ensures the listener doesn't just get the examples, but really grasps the underlying human condition, regardless of the scale.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, so to quickly recap the main points we've discussed for refining forgiveness or justice, which heals the world.
Right, 3 key areas. First, deepening the intellectual impact by refining the conclusion. Moving beyond that simple dichotomy to offer a more nuanced framework, exploring the interplay.
Got it. Second, heightening the intellectual vigor. Enhancing the dynamic between the voices with more direct engagement, more specific back and forth throughout the piece, not just in Act 3.
And finally, strengthening the overall resonance, building a clearer, more explicit thematic bridge between the personal stories and the global narratives, making those connections really sing.
So the actionable suggestions really focus on evolving the conclusion for a deeper so what, making the dialogue more immediately engaging and interrogative, and explicitly linking the micro and macro levels to enhance resonance. Exactly. Implementing these kinds of creative approaches, we think, can really elevate this already very compelling material. It offers the listener even more profound value and intellectual engagement.
These are definitely steps that can make a significant difference. We look forward to seeing it. Until next time.